Hello and welcome back to Brendan Moyer's Playwright Corner, where I read plays, poems, or whatever's currently striking my fancy at the moment. Today we're going to be starting off a bit of a cycle of plays by W.B. Yeats that I'm, for clarity's sake, calling the Cuchulainn cycle. All these plays are about the mythic figure of Irish mythology, Cuchulainn, and his life, his exploits, and his befallments. We're going to be starting today with At the Hawk's Well, and then going into The Green Helmet. Also, I would like to state that these two separate plays were recorded at different times, so I would ask for your forgiveness for any discrepancies in the quality between episodes. We're going to be reading these plays in stories chronological order rather than how W.B. Yeats wrote them through the years, so we're going to kick off this cycle of Cuchulainn with At the Hawk's Well, written in 1917. The persons in the play are three musicians, their faces made up to resemble masks, the guardian of the well, with face made up to resemble a mask, an old man and a young man, both wearing a mask. Time: the Irish heroic age. The stage is any bare space before a wall, against which stands a patterned screen. A drum, a gong, and a zither have been laid close to the screen before the play begins. If necessary, they can be carried in after the audience is seated by the first musician, who also can attend to the lights if there are any special lighting. We have 2 lanterns upon posts, designed by Mr. Dulac, at the outer corners of the stage, but they did not give enough light, and we found it better to play by the light of a large chandelier. Indeed, I think, so far as my present experience goes, that the most effective lighting is the lighting we are most accustomed to in our rooms. These masked players seem stranger when there is no mechanical means of separating them from us. The first musician carries with him a folded black cloth and goes to the center of the stage, towards the front, and stands motionless. The 2 other musicians enter and, after standing a moment at either side of the stage, go towards him and slowly unfold the cloth, singing as they do so. I called to the eye of the mind, a well long choked up and dry, and boughs long stripped by the wind, and I call to the mind's eye, pallor of an ivory face, its lofty dissolute air, a man climbing up to a place the salt sea wind has swept bare. As they unfold the cloth, they go backward a little, so that the stretched cloth and the wall make a triangle with the first musician at the apex, supporting the center of the cloth. On the black cloth is a gold pattern suggesting a hawk. The second and third musicians now slowly fold up the cloth again, pacing with the rhythmic movement of the arms towards the first musician and singing. What were his life soon done? Would he lose by that or win? A mother that saw her son doubled over a speckled shin, cross-grained with 90 years, would cry how little worth were all my hopes and fears, and the hard pains of his birth. The words "a speckled shin" are familiar to readers of Irish legendary stories, in descriptions of old men bent double over the fire. While the cloth has been spread out, the guardian of the well has entered and is now crouching upon the ground. She is entirely covered by a black cloak. Beside her lies a square blue cloth to represent a well. The 3 musicians have taken their places against the wall, beside their instrument of music. They will accompany the movements of the players with gong or drum or zither. First musician, singing. Boughs of the hazel shake, the sun goes down in the west. Second musician. The heart will be always awake, the heart would turn to its rest. They now go to one side of the stage, rolling up the cloth. First musician, speaking. Night falls. The mountainside grows dark. The withered leaves of the hazel half choke the dry bed of the well. The guardian of the well is sitting upon the old grey stone at its side. worn out from raking its dry bed, worn out from gathering up the leaves. Her heavy eyes know nothing, or but look upon stone. The wind that blows out of the sea turns over the heaped-up leaves at her side. They rustle and diminish. Second musician. I am afraid of this place. Both musicians. Why should I sleep, the heart cries, for the wind, the salt wind, the sea wind, is beating a cloud through the sky. I would wander always like the wind. An old man enters through the audience. First musician, speaking. That old man climbs up hither, who has been watching by his well these 50 years. He is all doubled up with age. The old thorn trees are doubled so, among the rocks where he is climbing. The old man stands for a moment motionless by the side of the stage with bowed head. He lifts his head at the sound of a drum tap. He goes towards the front of the stage, moving to the taps of the drum. He crouches and moves his hand as if making a fire. His movements, like those of the other persons of the play, suggest a marionette. First musician, speaking. He has made a little heap of leaves. He lays the dry sticks on the leaves, and, shivering with cold, he has taken up the fire stick and socket from its hole. He whirls it round to get a flame, and now the dry sticks take the fire. And now the fire leaps up and shines upon the hazels and the empty well. Musician singing. O wind, O salt wind, O sea wind, cries the heart, it is time to sleep. Why wander and nothing to find? Better grow old and sleep. Old man, speaking. Why don't you speak to me? Why don't you say, are you not weary gathering those sticks? Are not your fingers cold? You have not one word, while yesterday you spoke 3 times. You said, the well is full of hazel leaves. You said, the wind is from the west. And after that, if there is rain, it's likely there'll be mud. Today you are as stupid as a fish. No, worse, being less lively and as dumb. He goes nearer. Your eyes are dazed and heavy. If the she must have a guardian to clean out the well and drive the cattle off, they might choose somebody that can be pleasant and companionable once in the day. Why do you stare like that? You had that glassy look about the eyes last time it happened. Do you know anything? It is enough to drive an old man crazy. To look all day upon these broken rocks and ragged thorns and that one stupid face, and speak, and get no answer. Young man, who has entered through the audience during the last speech. And speak to me. For youth is not more patient than old age. And though I have trod the rocks for half a day, I cannot find what I am looking for. Old man, who speaks? Who comes so suddenly into this place where nothing thrives? If I may judge by the gold on head and feet, and glittering in your coat, you are not of those who hate the living world. Young man, I am named Cuchulainn. I am Swartman's son. I have never heard that name. It is not unknown. I have an ancient house beyond the sea. What mischief brings you hither? You are like those who are crazy for the shedding of men's blood, and for the love of women. A rumour has led me. A story told over the wine towards dawn. I rose from table, found a boat, spread sail, and with a lucky wind under the sail, crossed waves that have seemed charmed, and found this shore. Old man, there is no house to sack among these hills, nor beautiful woman to be carried off. You should be native here, for that rough tongue matches the barbarous spot. You can, it may be, lead me to what I seek. A well wherein 3 hazel drops their nuts and wither leaves, and where a solitary girl keeps watch among grey boulders. He who drinks, they say, of that miraculous water lives forever. And are there not before your eyes at the instant grey boulders, and a solitary girl and 3 stripped hazels? But there is no well. See but a hole among stones half full of leaves. And do you think so great a gift is found by no more toil than spreading out a sail and climbing up a steep hill? Oh, folly of youth, why should that hollow place fill up for you that will not fill for me? I have lain in wait for more than 50 years to find it empty, or but to find the stupid wind of the sea drive round the perishable leaves. So it seems there's some moment when the water fills it. A secret monument that the holy shades that dance upon the desolate mountains know, and not a living man. And when it comes, the water has scarce plashed before it is gone. I will stand here and wait. Why should the luck of Swaltam's son desert him now? I never have long to wait for anything. No! Go from this accursed place. This place belongs to me, that girl there, and those others, deceivers of men. And who are you to rail upon those dances that all others bless? I came like you, when young in body and in mind, and blown by what seemed to me a lucky sail. The well was dry. I sat upon its edge. I waited the miraculous flood. I waited while the years passed and withered me away. I have snared the birds for food and eaten grass and drunk the rain, and neither in dark nor shine wandered too far away to have heard the plash. And yet the dancers have deceived me. Thrice I have awakened from a sudden sleep to find the stones were wet. It will not leave me waiting, nor will they that dance among the stones put me asleep. If I grow drowsy, I can pierce my foot. No, do not pierce it, for the foot is tender. It feels pain much. But find your sail again, and leave the well to me, for it belongs to all that's old and withered. No, I stay. The guardian of the well gives the cry of the hawk. That is that bird again. There is no bird. It sounded like the sudden cry of a hawk. But there's no wing in sight. As I came hither, a great grey hawk swept out of the sky. And though I have good hawks, the best in the world, I had fancied I have not seen its like. It flew as though it would have torn me with its beak, or blinded me, spiting me with that great wing. I had to draw my sword to drive it off, and after that it flew from rock to rock. I pelted it with stones a good half hour, and just before I had turned the big rock there, and seen this place, it seemed to vanish away. The woman of the she herself, the mountain witch, the unappeasable shadow. She is always flitting upon this mountainside, to allure or to destroy. When she has shown herself to the fierce woman of the hills under that shape, they offer sacrifice and arm for battle. There falls a curse on all who have gazed in her unmoistened eyes. So get you gone while you have that proud step and confident voice, for not a man alive has so much luck that he can play with it. Those that have long to live should fear her most. The old are cursed already. That curse may be never to win a woman's love and keep it, or always to mix hatred in the love. Or it may be that she will kill your children, that you will find them their throats torn and bloody, or you will be so mad that you kill them with your own hand. Have you been set down there to threaten all who come and scare them off? You seem as dried up as the leaves and sticks, as though you had no part in life. The guardian of the well gives hot cry again. That cry! There it is, that cry again. That woman made it. But why does she cry out as the hawk cries? It was her mouth. And yet not she that cried. It was that shadow cried behind her mouth. And now I know why she has been so stupid all the day through and had such heavy eyes. Look at her shivering now. The terrible life is slipping through her veins. She is possessed. Who knows whom she will murder or betray before she awakens in ignorance of it all and gathers up the leaves? But they'll be wet. The water will have to come and gone again. That shivering is a sign. Oh, get you gone at any moment now. I shall hear it bubble. If you are good, you will leave it. I am old, and if I do not drink it now, will never. I've been watching all my life, and only maybe a little cupful will bubble up. I'll take it in my hands. We shall both drink. And even if there are but a few drops, share them, but swear that I may drink the first. The young are greedy, and if you drink the first, you'll drink it all. Ah, you've looked at her. She has felt your gaze and turned her eyes on us. I cannot bear her eyes. They are not of this world, nor moist, nor faltering. They are no girl's eyes. He covers his head. The guardian of the well throws off her cloak and rises. Her dress underneath the cloak suggests a hawk. Young man. Why do you fix those eyes of a hawk upon me? I am not afraid of you, bird, woman, or witch. Do what you will. I shall not leave this place till I have grown immortal like yourself. He has sat down. The guardian of the well has begun to dance, moving like a hawk. The old man sleeps. The dance goes on for some time. First musician, singing or half singing. Oh God, protect me from a horrible, deathless body sliding through the veins of a sudden. First musician, speaking. The madness has laid hold upon him now, for he grows pale and staggers to his feet. The dance goes on. Young man. Run where you will, grey bird. You shall be perched upon my wrist. Some were called queens, and yet have been perched there. The dance goes on. First musician, speaking. I have heard water plash. It comes. It comes. Look where it glitters. He has heard the plash. Look. He has turned his head. The guardian of the well has gone out. The young man drops his spear as if in a dream, and goes out. Musicians singing. He is lost what may not be found, till men heap his burial mound, and all the history ends. He might have lived at his ease, an old dog's head on his knees, among his children and his friends. The old man creeps up to the well. The accursed shadows have deluded me. The stones are dark, and yet the well is empty. The water flowed and emptied while I slept. You have deluded me my whole life through. Accursed dancers, you have stolen my life. That there should be such evil in a shadow. Young man entering. She has fled from me, and hidden in the rocks. She has but led you from the fountain. Look! Those stones and leaves are dark where it has flowed. There is not a drop to drink. The musicians cry, Aoife, Aoife, and strike gong. Young man. What are those cries? What is that sound that runs along the hill? Who are they that beat a sword upon a shield? She has roused up the fierce women of the hills, Aoife, and all her troop to take your life. And never till you are lying in the earth can you know rest. Clash of arms again. Oh, do not go. The mountain is accursed. Stay with me. I have nothing more to lose. I do not now deceive you. I will face them. He goes out, no longer as if in a dream, but shouldering his spear and calling, He comes! Cuchulainn, son of Swaltham, comes! The musicians stand up. One goes to center with folded cloth. The others unfold it. While they do so, they sing. During the singing, and while hidden by the cloth, the old man goes out. When the play is performed with Mr. Duloc's music, the musicians do not rise or unfold the cloth till after they have sung the words, A Bitter Life. Songs for the unfolding and folding of the cloth. Come to me, human faces, familiar memories. I have found hateful eyes among the desolate places, unfaltering, unmoistened eyes. Folly alone I cherish. I choose it for my share. Being but a mouthful of air, I am content to perish. I am but a mouthful of sweet air. O lamentable shadows, obscurity of strife, I choose a pleasant life among indolent meadows. Wisdom must live a bitter life. They then fold up the cloth, singing. The man that I praise cries out the empty well, lives all his days where a hand on the bell can call the milk cows to the comfortable door of his house. Who but an idiot would praise dry stones in a well? The man that I praise cries out the leafless tree, has married and stays by an old hearth, and he on naught has set store but children and dogs on the floor. Who but an idiot would praise a withered tree? They go out. The end.
And now, The Green Helmet, a heroic farce written in 1910. The persons of the play are Laire, Laire's wife, Conall, Conall's wife, Cuchulainn, Leg, Cuchulainn's chariot driver, Redman, a spirit, stable boys and scullions, Emer and black men, etc. A house made of logs. There are 2 windows at the back and a door which cuts off one of the corners of the room. Through the door one can see low rocks which make the ground outside higher than it is within, and beyond the rocks a misty moonlit sea. Through the windows one can see nothing but the sea. There is a great chair at the opposite side of the door, and in front of it a table with cups and a flagon of ale. Here there are stools. At the Abbey Theatre the house is orange-red and the chairs and tables and flagons black, with a slight purple tinge which is not clearly distinguishable from the black. The rocks are black with a few green touches. The sea is green and luminous, and all the characters except the red man and the black men are dressed in various shades of green, one or two with touches of purple which look nearly black. The black men all wear dark purple and have eared caps, and at the end their eyes should look green from the reflected light of the sea. The red man is altogether in red. He is very tall, and his height increased by horns on the green helmet. The effect is intentionally violent and startling. Lara. What is that? I had thought that I saw, though, but in the wink of an eye, a cat-headed man out of Connacht go pacing and spitting by. But that could not be. Connell. You've dreamed it. There's nothing out there. I killed them all before daybreak. I hooked them out of their lair. I cut off 100 heads in a single stroke of my sword, and then I danced on their graves and carried away their hoard. Lara. Does anything stir on the sea? Connell. Not even a fish or a gull. I can see for a mile or two now that the moon is full. A distant shout. Lara. Ah, there. There's someone who calls us. Connell. But from the landward side. And we have nothing to fear that has not come up from the tide. The rocks in the bushes cover whomever made that noise, but the land will do us no harm. It was like Cuchulainn's voice. But that's an impossible thing. An impossible thing indeed. But he will never come home. He has all that he can need in that high, windy Scotland. Good luck and all he does. Here neighbour wars on neighbour, and why there is no man knows, and if a man is lucky, all wish his luck away, and take his good name from him between a day and a day. Lara. I would he'd come for all that, and make his young wife know that though she may be his wife, she has no right to go before your wife, and my wife as she would have done last night had they not caught her dress and pulled her as was right. And she makes light of us, though our wives do all they can. She spread her tail like a peacock and praises none but her man. A man in a long green coat that covers him up to the chin comes down through the rocks and hazels. He must look for his dinner elsewhere. But no one alive shall stop where a shame must alight on us too before the dawn is up. Lara. No man on the ridge of the world must ever know that but us two. Connell, outside door. Go away. Go away. Go away! Young man, outside door. I will go when the night is through. And I've eaten and slept and drunk to my heart's delight. Connell. A law has been made that none shall sleep in this house tonight. Young man. Who made that law? We made it. And who has so good a right? Who else has to keep the house from the shape changes till day? Young man. Then I will unmake the law. So get you out of the way. He pushes Connell and goes into the house. Connell. I thought no living man could have pushed me from the door. Nor could any living man do it but for the dip in the floor. And had I been rightly ready, there's no man living could do a dip or no dip. Lara. Go out. If you have your wits, go out. A stone's throw further on you will find a big house where our wives will give you supper, and you'll sleep sounder there, for it's a luckier house. Young man. I'll eat and sleep where I will. Go out or I will make you. Young man, forcing up Lara's arm, passing him, and putting his shield on the wall over the chair. Not until I have drunk my fill. But may some dog defend me, for a cat's a wonders up. Lara and Connell are here, the flagon full to the top, and the cups. It's his, Cuchulainn. The cups are as dry as a bone. Connell. Go on to Scotland again. Or wherever you will, but be gone from this unlucky country that was made when the devil spat. If I lived here 100 years, could a worse thing come than that Lara and Connell should know me, and bid me be gone to my face? We bid you be gone from a house that has fallen on shame and disgrace. I am losing patience, Connell. I find you stuffed with pride. The flagon full to the brim, the front door standing wide. You'd put me off with words, but the whole thing's plain enough. You are waiting for some message to bring you war or love in that old secret country beyond the white wool waves, or it may be down beneath them in foam-bewildered caves where 9 forsaken sea queens fling shuttles to and fro. But beyond them, or beneath them, whether you will or no, I am going to. Lara. Better tell it all out in the end. He was born to luck in the cradle. His good luck may mend the bad luck we were born to. Connell. I'll lay the whole thing bare. You saw the luck that he had when he pushed me past there. You were gone but a little while. We were there and the ale cup full. We were half drunk and merry, and midnight on the stroke, and a wide, high man came in with a red foxy cloak, and half-shut foxy eyes, and a great laughing mouth, and he said, when we bid him drink, that he had so great a draught, he could drink the sea. Cuchulainn. I thought he had come for one of you out of some Connaught wrath and would lap up milk and dew. But if he so loved water, I the tale or I. Connell. He would not be so merry if he was standing by. For when he had sung or danced, as he were our next of kin, he promised to show us a game, the best that ever had been. And when we had asked what game, he answered, Why, whip off my head. Then one of you two stoop down and I'll whip off his, he said. A head for a head, he said. That is the game that I play. Cuchulainn. How could he whip off a head when his own had been whipped away? Connell. We told him it over and over, and the ale had fuddled his wit. But he stood and laughed at us there, as though his sides would split, till I could stand no longer, and whipped off his head at a blow, being mad that he did not answer, and more at his laughing so. And then on the ground, when it fell, it went on laughing at me. Lara. Till he had took it up in his hands, Connell, and splashed himself into the sea. Cuchulainn. I have imagined as good when I have been deep in the cup. You never did. And believed it. Connell. Cuchulainn, when will you stop boasting of your great deeds and weighing yourself with us too, and crying out to the world whatever we say or do, that you've said or done a better? Nor is it a drunkard's tale, though we said to ourselves at first that it all came out of the ale, and thinking that if we told it, we should be a laughingstock, swore to keep it a secret. Lara. But 12 months upon the clock, a 12-month from the first time, and the jug full up to the brim, for we had been put from our drinking by the very thought of him. We stood as we are standing now, the horns were as empty, when he ran up out of the sea with his head on his shoulders again. Cuchulainn. Why, this is a tale worth telling. And he called for his debt and his right, and said that the land was disgraced because of us two from that night if we did not pay him his debt. Lara. What is there to be said when a man with a right to get it has come to ask for your head? Connell. If you had been sitting there, you had been silent like us. Lara. He said in 12 months more he would come again to this house, and ask his debt again. 12 months are up today. He would have followed after if we had run away. Connell. Will he tell every mother's son that we have broken our word? Cuchulainn. Whether he does or not, he'll drive him out with the sword, and take his life in the bargain if he but dare to scoff. Connell. How can you fight with a head that laughs when you've whipped it off? Lara. Or a man that can pick it up and carry it out on his hand. Connell. He's coming now. There's a splash and a rumble along the Strand as when he came last. Cuchulainn. Come, and put all your backs to the door. A tall, red-headed, red-cloaked man stands upon the threshold against the misty green of the sea. The ground, higher without than within the house, makes him seem taller than he even is. He leans upon a great two-handed sword. Lara. It's too late to shut it, for there he stands once more and laughs like the sea. Cuchulainn. Old herring. You whip off heads? Why then whip off your own, for it seems you can clap it on again. Or else go down in the sea, I say. Find that old juggler Manannan and whip his head away. Or the red man of the Boyne, for they are of your own sort. Or if the waves have vexed you and you would find a sport of a more Irish fashion, go fight without arrest a caterwauling phantom among the winds of the west. What are you waiting for? Into the water, I say. If there's no sword can harm you, I have an older trick to play. An old five-fingered trick to tumble you out of the place. I am Sualtim's son, Cuchulainn. What? Do you laugh in my face? Red man. So you too think me in earnest in wagering pole for pole. A drinking joke and a gibe at a juggler's feet, that is all. To make the time go quickly. For I am the drinker's friend, the kindest of all shape-shifting changers from here to the world's end, the best of all tipsy companions. And now, I bring you a gift. I will lay it there on the ground for the best of you all to lift. He lays his helmet on the ground, and wear upon his own head, and choose for yourselves the best. Oh, Lara and Connell are brave, but they were afraid of my jest. Well, maybe I jest too grimly when the ale is in the cup. There. I'm forgiven now. Then, in a more solemn voice as he goes out, "Let the bravest take it up." Connell takes up helmet and gazes at it with delight. Lara, singing, with a swaggering stride, "There is the best between water and hill. He fought in the west with cat heads until at the break of day all fell by his sword, and he carried away their hidden hoard." He seizes the helmet. Connell, "Lara, that helmet is mine. For what did you find in the bag but the straw and the broken delf and the bits of dirty rag you'd taken for good money?" Cuchulainn, No, but give it to me." He takes helmet. "The helmet's mine or Lara's. You're the youngest of us three." Cuchulainn, filling helmet with ale, "I did not take it to keep it. The red man gave it for one. But I shall give it to all of us three, or to none. That is as you look upon it. We will pass it to and fro, and time about, drink out of it, and so stroke into peace this cat that has come to take our lives. Now it is purring again. And now I drink to your wives, and I drink to Emer, my wife." A great noise without, and shouting. "Why, what in God's name is that noise?" Connell, "What else but the charioteers in the kitchen and stable boys shouting against each other? And the worst of all is your chariot driver leg, and they'll keep it up till dawn. And there's not a man in the house that will close his eyes tonight or be able to keep them from it or know what set them to fight." A noise of horns without. "There, do you hear them now? Such hatred has for each. They have taken the hunting horns to drown the other's speech, for they fear the truth may prevail. Here's your good health and long life, and, though she be quarrelsome, good health to Emer, your wife." The charioteers, stable boys, and scullions come running in. They carry great horns and other instruments, ladles, and the like. Leg, "I am Leg, Cuchulainn's driver and my master's cock of the yard." Another charioteer, "Connell would scatter his feathers." Confused murmurs. Lara, "No use. They won't hear a word." Another charioteer, "It is Lara that is the best, for he fought with cats and connaughts while Connell took his rest and drained his ale pot." Another, "Lara, what does a man of his sort care for the like of us? He did for his own sport." Another, "It was all mere luck at the best." "But Connell, I say—" "Let me speak." Leg, "You be dumb if the cock of the yard would but open his beak. Before your cock was born, my master was in the fight." Leg, "Go home and praise your granddad. They took to the horns for spite, for I said no cock of your sort had been born since the fight began. Connell has got it. The best man has got it, and I am his man." Cuchulainn, "Who was it started this quarrel?" A stable boy, "It was Leg." Another, "It was Leg done it all." Leg, "A high, wide, foxy man came where we sat in the hall, getting our supper ready, with a great voice like the wind, and cried that there was a helmet, or something of the kind, that was for the foremost man upon the ridge of the earth. So I cried your name out in the hall." The others cry out and blow horns, partly drowning the rest of his speech. "But they denied its worth, and they cried to drown my voice. But I had so strong a throat that I drowned all their noise, till they took to the hunting horns and blew them in my face. And as neither side would give in, we would settle it in this place. Let the helmet be taken from Connell." A stable boy, "No, Connell is the best man here." Another, "Give it to Lara, that made the murderous cats pay dear." Cuchulainn, "It has been given to none, that our rivalry might cease. We have turned that murderous cat into a cup of peace. I drank the first, and then Connell. Give it to Lara now." Connell gives helmet to Lara, "that it may purr in his hand, and all of our servants know that, since the ale went in, its claws went out of sight." A servant, "That's well. I will stop my shouting." Another, "Cuchulainn is in the right. I'm tired of this bighorn that has made me hoarse as a rook." Lara, "Cuchulainn, you drank the first." Another, "By drinking the first he took the whole of the honours himself." Another, "If Lara drank from it now, he claims to be last and worst. Cuchulainn and Connell have drunk. He is lost if he takes a drop." Lara, laying helmet on table, "Did you claim to be better than us by drinking first from the cup?" Cuchulainn, his words are partly drowned by the murmurs of the crowd, though he speaks very loud. "That juggler from the sea, that old red herring it is who has set us all by the ears, he brought the helmet for this. And because he would not quarrel, he ran elsewhere to shout that Connell and Lara wronged me till all had fallen out." The murmur grows less so that his words are heard. Who knows where he is now or whom he is spurring to fight? So get you gone. And whatever may cry aloud in the night or show itself in the air, be silent until morn.
A servant. Cuchulainn is in the right. I'm tired of this bighorn. Cuchulainn.
Go!
The servants turn towards the house, but stop on hearing the voices of women outside. Lair's wife, without. Mine is better to look at. Connell's wife. But mine is better born. Emer, without. My man is the pithier man. Cuchulainn.
Old hurricane, well done. You've set our wives to the game that they may egg us on. We are to kill each other that you may sport with us. Now they begin to wrestle as to who will be first in the house.
The women come to the door, struggling. Emer. No, I have the right of place, for I married the better man. Connell's wife, pulling Emer back. My nails in your neck and shoulder. Lair's wife. And go before me as you can. My husband fought in the west. Connell's wife, kneeling in the door so as to keep the others out who pull at her. But what did he fight with there but sidelong and spitting in helpless shadows of the dim air? And what did he carry away but straw and broken delf? Lair's wife. Your old man made up the tale, trembling alone by himself, drowning his terror. Emer, forcing herself in front. I am Emer, it is I go first through the door. No one shall stand before me or praise any man before my man has been praised. Cuchulainn, putting his spear across the door so as to close it.
Come, put an end to their quarrelling. One is as fair as the other, each one the wife of a king. Break down the painted walls, break them down to the floor. Our wives shall come in together, each one at her own door.
Lara and Connell begin to break down the walls. Their wives go each to the hole their husband is making. Emer stands at the door and sings. Some of those who carry musical instruments play an accompaniment. Emer. Nothing that he has done is mine, that is fire. His body that is the sun have set my head higher than all the world's wives. Himself on the wind is the gift that he gives. Therefore womankind, when their eyes have met mine, grow cold and grow hot, troubled as with wine, by a secret thought, preyed upon, fed upon, by jealousy and desire. For I am moon to that sun, I am steel to that fire. Holes have been broken in the walls. Cuchulainn takes his spear from the door, and the three women come in at the same moment. Emer. Cuchulainn, put off this sloth and awake. I will sing till I have stiffened your lip up against every knave that would take a share of your honour. Lair's wife. You lie. For your man would take from my man. Connell's wife. To Lair's wife. You say that, you double-face, and your own husband began. Cuchulainn, taking up helmet from table.
Townland may rail at townland till all have gone to wrack. The very straws may wrangle till they've thrown down the stack. The very doorposts bicker till they've pulled in the door. The very ale jars jostle till the ale is on the floor. But this shall help no further.
He throws his helmet into the sea. Lair's wife. It was not for your head, and so you would let none wear it, but fling it away instead. Connell's wife. But you shall answer for it, for you've robbed my man by this. Connell. You have robbed us both, Cuchulainn. Lara. The greatest wrong there is on the wide ridge of the world has been done to us to this day. Emer, drawing her dagger. Who is for Cuchulainn?
Silence!
Who is for Cuchulainn, I say? She sings the same words as before, flourishing her dagger about. While she is singing, Connell's wife and Lara's wife draw their daggers and run at her, but Cuchulainn forces them back. Lara and Connell draw their swords to strike Cuchulainn. Lara's wife, crying out so as to be heard through Emer's singing. Deafen her singing with horns! Connell's wife, cry aloud, blow horns, make a noise! Lara's wife, blow horns, clap hands, or shout her, so that you smother her voice! The stable boys and scullions blow their horns or fight among themselves. There is a deafening noise and a confusing fight.
Suddenly 3 black hands come through the windows and put out the torches. It is now pitch dark, but for a faint light outside the house which merely shows that there are moving forms, but not who or what they are. And in the darkness one can hear low, terrified voices. A voice. "Coal black, and headed like cats, they came up over the Strand." Another voice. "And I saw one stretch to a torch and cover it with his hand." Another voice. "Another sooty fellow has plucked the moon from the air." A light gradually comes into the house from the sea, on which the moon begins to show once more. There is no light within the house, and the great beams of the walls are dark and full of shadows, and the persons of the play dark too against the light. The red man is seen standing in the midst of the house. The black cat-headed men crouch and stand about the door. One carries the helmet, one the great sword. Red man. "I demand the debt that's owing. Let some man kneel down there, that I may cut his head off, or all shall go to rack." Cuchulainn. "He played, and paid with his head, and it's right that we pay him back, and give him more than he gave, for he comes here as a guest. So I will give him my head." Emer begins to keen. Little wife, be at rest. Alive, I have been far off in all lands under the sun, and have been no faithful man. But when my story is done, my fame shall spring up and laugh, and set you high above all. Emer, putting her arms around him. "It is you, not your fame that I love." Cuchulainn tries to put her from him. "You are young. You are wise. You can call some kinder and comelier man that will sit at home in house." Emer. "Live, and be faithless still." Cuchulainn, throwing her from him. "Would you stay the great barnacle goose when its eyes are turned to the sea and its beak to the salt of the air?" Emer, lifting her dagger to stab herself. "I, too, on the grey wing's path." Cuchulainn, seizing dagger. "Do you dare? Do you dare? Do you dare? Bear children, and sweep the house." Forcing his way through the servants who gather round. "Wail, but keep from the road." He kneels before the red man. "Quick to your work, old radish. You will fade when the cocks have crowed." A black cat-headed man holds out the helmet. The red man takes it. Red man. "I have come not for your hurt. I'm the rector of this land, and with my spitting cat heads, my frenzied moon-bred band, age after age I sift it, and choose for its championship the man who hits my fancy." He places the helmet on Cuchulainn's head. "And I choose the laughing lip, that shall not turn from laughing whatever rise or fall. The heart that grows no bitterer, although betrayed by all. The hand that loves to scatter. The life, like a gambler's throw. And these things I make prosper till a day come that I know, when heart and mind shall darken, that the weak may end the strong. And the long remembering harpers have matter for their song." The end. That was the end of the Green Helmet. I believe next in the Myth of Cuchulainn we have On Baile's Strand. So stay tuned for that, and I hope to have you back in Brendan Moyer's Playwright Corner. Thank you. Hello, and welcome back to Brendan Moyer's Playwright Corner, where I read plays, poems, or whatever's currently striking my fancy at the moment. Today we're continuing on with W.B. Yeats's Myth of Cuchulainn with On Baile's Strand, written in 1904. Dedicated to William Fay, because of the beautiful fantasy of his playing in the character of the fool. The persons in the play are a fool, a blind man, Cuchulainn, king of Mortem, Conahar, high king of Ula, a young man, son of Cuchulainn, and kings and singing women. A great hall at Dundalgan, not Conahar's great ancient house, but an assembly house nearer to the sea. A big door at the back, and through the door misty light, as of sea mist. There are many chairs and one long bench. One of these chairs, which is towards the front of the stage, is bigger than the others. Somewhere at the back there is a table with flagons of ale upon it and drinking horns. There is a small door at one side of the hall. A fool and a blind man, both ragged and their features made grotesque by extravagant masks, come in through the door at the back. The blind man leans upon a staff. Fool. What a clever man you are, though you are blind. There's nobody with 2 eyes in his head that is as clever as you are. Who but you could have thought that the henwife sleeps every day a little at noon? I would never have been able to steal anything if you didn't tell me where to look for it. And what a good cook you are. You take the fowl out of my hands after I have stolen it and plucked it, and you put it into the big pot at the fire there, and I can go out and run races with the witches at the edge of the waves and get an appetite. And when I've got it, there's the hen waiting inside for me. Done to a turn. Fool, putting his arm round blind man's neck. Come now, I'll have a leggin', you'll have a leggin'. We'll draw lots for the wishbone. I'll be praising you while you're eating it, for your good plans and your good cooking. There's nobody in the world like you, blind man. Come. Oh, wait a minute. I shouldn't have closed the door. There's some that look for me. I wouldn't like them not to find me. Don't tell it to anybody, blind man. There are some that follow me. Boann herself out of the river and fanned out of the deep blue sea. Witches they are, and they come by in the wind, and they cry, "Give a kiss, fool, give a kiss." That's what they cry. That's wide enough. All the witches can come in now. I wouldn't have them beat at the door and say, "Where's the fool? Why has he put a lock on the door?" Maybe they'll hear the bubbling of the pot and come in and sit on the ground. But we won't give them any of the fowl. Let them go back to the sea. Let them go back to the sea. Blind man, feeling legs of big chair with his hands. Then, in a louder voice, as he feels the back of it. Fool. Why do you say, Blind man. I know the big chair. It is today the High King Conahar is coming. They have brought out his chair. He's going to be Cuchulainn's master in earnest from this day out. It is that he's coming for. Fool. He must be a great man to be Cuchulainn's master. Blind man. So he is. He is a great man. He is over all the rest of the kings of Ireland. Cuchulainn's master. I thought Cuchulainn could do anything he liked. So he did. But he ran too wild. And Conahar is coming today to put an oath upon him that will stop his rambling and make him as biddable as a house dog and keep him always at his hand. He will sit in this chair and put the oath upon him. How will he do that? You have no wits to understand such things. The blind man has got into the chair. He will sit up in his chair and he'll say, "Take the oath, Cuchulainn. I bid you take the oath. Do as I tell you. What are your wits compared with mine, and what are your riches compared with mine? And what sons have you to pay your debts, and to put a stone over when you die? Take the oath, I tell you. Take a strong oath." Fool, crumpling himself up and whining, "I will not. I'll take no oath. I want my dinner." "Hush, hush. It is not done yet. You said it was done to a turn. Did I now? Well, it might be done and not done. The wings might be white, but the legs might be red. The flesh might be stick hard to the bones and not come away to the teeth, but believe me, fool, it will be well done before you put your teeth into it. My teeth are growing long with the hunger. I'll tell you a story. The kings have storytellers while they are waiting for their dinners. I will tell you a story with a fight in it. A story with a champion in it, and a ship, and a queen's son that has his mind set on killing somebody that you and I know." "Who is that? Who is he coming to kill?" "Wait now, till you hear. When you were stealing the fowl, I was lying in a hole in the sand, and I heard 3 men coming with a shuffling sort of noise. They were wounded and groaning. Go on. Tell me about the fight.
There had been a fight. A great fight, a tremendous great fight. A young man had landed on the shore. The guardians of the shore had asked his name, and he refused to tell it. And he had killed one. And the others ran away.
That's enough. Come on now with the fool. I wish it was bigger. I wish it was as big as a goose.
Hush! I haven't told you all. I know who that young man is. I heard the men who were running away say he had red hair, that he had come from Aoife's country, that he was coming to kill Cuchulainn.
Nobody can do that. To a tune. Cuchulainn has killed kings, kings and sons of kings, dragons out of the water, and witches out of the air, Monachus and Monachus, and people of the woods.
Hush! Hush!
Witches that steal the milk, former that steal the children, hags that have heads like hares, hares that have claws like witches, all riding a cock horse. Out to the very bottom of the bitter black north.
Hush, I say!
Does Cuchulainn know that he is coming to kill him?
How would he know that with his head in the clouds? He doesn't care for common fighting. Why would he put himself out and nobody in it but that young man? Now, if it were a white fawn, that might turn into a queen before morning.
Come to the fowl. I wish it was as big as a pig, a fowl with goose grease and pigs crackling.
No hurry. No hurry. I know whose son it is. I wouldn't tell anybody else, but I will tell you. A secret is better to you than dinner. You like being told secrets.
Tell me the secret.
That young man is Aoife's son. I am sure it is Aoife's son. It flows in upon me that it is Aoife's son. You have often heard me talking of Aoife, the great woman fighter Cuchulainn got the mastery over in the north.
I know. She's one of those cross queens that live in hungry Scotland.
I am sure it is her son. I was in Aoife's country for a long time.
That was before you were blinded for putting a curse upon the wind.
There was a boy in her house that had her own red colour on him, and everybody said that he was to be brought up to kill Cuchulainn, that she hated Cuchulainn. She used to put a helmet on a pillar stone and call it Cuchulainn and set him casting at it. There's a step outside. Cuchulainn's step. Cuchulainn passes by in the mist outside the big door.
Fool. Where is Cuchulainn going?
He is going to meet Conahar, that has bidden him to take the oath.
Ah, an oath, blind man. How can I remember so many things at once? Who's going to take an oath?
Cuchulainn is going to take an oath to Conahar, who is High King.
What a mix-up you make of everything, blind man. How can I get the hang of it at the end if you mix everything at the beginning? Wait till I say that out. There now. There is Cuchulainn. He points to one foot. And there is the young man, he points to the other foot, that is coming to kill him, and Cuchulainn doesn't know. But where is Conahar? Takes bag from side. That's Conahar with all his riches. Cuchulainn, young man, Conahar. And where's Aoife? Throws up cap. There is Aoife, high up in the mountains in high hungry Scotland. Maybe it is not true after all. Maybe it was your own making up. It's many a time you cheated me before with your lies. Come to the cooking pot. My stomach is pinching and rusty. Would you have it be creaking like a gate? Blind man, I tell you it's true. And more than that is true. If you listen to what I say, you'll forget your stomach. I won't. Listen.
I know who the young man's father is, but I won't say it. I would be afraid to say.
Ah, fool, you would forget everything if you could know who the young man's father is.
Fool, who is it? Tell me now, quick, or I'll shake you.
Come out with it, or I'll shake you.
A murmur of voices in the distance. Blind man, wait. Wait. There's somebody coming. It is Cuchulainn coming. He's coming back with the High King. Go. Go and ask Cuchulainn. He'll tell you. It's little you'll care about the cooking pot when you've asked Cuchulainn that. Blind man goes out by side door.
Fool. I'll ask him. Cuchulainn will know. He was in Aoife's country. Goes upstage. I'll ask him.
Turns and goes downstage. But no, I won't ask him. I would be afraid.
Going up again.
Yes, I will ask him.
What harm in asking? The blind man said I was to ask him. Going down.
No, I'll not ask him. He might kill me.
I've but killed hens and geese and pigs.
He has killed kings.
Goes up again, almost to big door. Who says I'm afraid? I'm not afraid. I'm no coward. I'll ask him. No, Cuchulainn, I'm not going to ask you. Cuchulainn has killed kings, kings and sons of kings, dragons out of the water, and witches out of the air, Monachos and Monachos, and people of the woods. Fool goes out by a side door, the last words being heard outside. Cuchulainn and Connachar enter through the big door at back. While they are still outside, Cuchulainn's voice is heard raised in anger. He is a dark man, something over 40 years of age. Connachar is much older and carries a long staff. Cuchulainn, because I have killed men without your bidding, and have rewarded others at my own pleasure because of half a score of trifling things, you lay this oath upon me? And now you add another pebble to the heap? And I must be your man, well now your bondsman, because a youngster out of Aoife's country has found the shore ill-guarded? Connachar, he came to land while you were somewhere out of sight and hearing, hunting or dancing with your wild companion. He can be driven out. I'll not be bound. I'll dance or hunt or quarrel or make love, wherever and whenever I've a mind to. If time had not put water in your blood, you never would have thought it. Connachar, I would leave a strong and settled country to my children. Cuchulainn, and I must be obedient in all things. Give up my will to yours, go where you please, come when you call, sit at the council board among the unshapely bodies of old men. I, whose mere name has kept this country safe. I, that in early days have driven out Myth of Cuchulainn and the northern pirates, the 100 kings of Sorcha and the kings out of the garden of the east of the world. Must I, that held you on the throne when all had pulled you from it, swear obedience as if I were some cattle-raising king? Are my shins speckled with the heat of the fire, or have my hands no skill but to make figures upon the ashes with a stick? Am I so slack and idle that I need a whip before I serve you? Connachar, no whip, Cuchulainn. But every day my children come and say, this man is growing harder to endure. How can we be at safety with this man that nobody can buy or bid or bind? We shall be at his mercy when you are gone. He burns the earth as if it were a fire, and time can never touch him. Cuchulainn. And so the tale grows finer yet. Am I to obey whatever child you set upon the throne as if it were yourself? Connachar. Most certainly. I am High King. My son shall be High King, and you for all the wilderness in your blood, and though your father come out of the sun, are but a little king, and weigh but light in anything that touches government, if put into the balance with my children. It's well that we should speak our minds out plainly, for when we die we shall be spoken of in many countries. We in our young days have seen the heavens like a burning cloud brooding upon the world, and being more than men can be now that the clouds lifted up, we should be more truthful. Connachar, I do not like your children. They have no pith, no marrow in the bones, and will lie soft when you and I lie hard. Connachar, you rail at them because you have no children of your own. Cuchulainn, I think myself most lucky that I leave no pallid ghost or mockery of a man to drift and mutter in the corridors where I have laughed and sung. Connachar, that is not true for all your boasting of the truth between us. For there is no man having house and lands that have been in the one family, called by that one family's name for centuries, but is made miserable if he know they are to pass into a stranger's keeping, as yours will pass. Cuchulainn, the most of men fear that. But you and I leave names upon the harp. Connachar, you play with arguments as lawyers do, and put no heart in them. I know your thoughts, for we have slept under the one cloak and drunk from the one wine cup. I know you to the bone. I have heard you cry, aye, in your very sleep, I had no son, and with such bitterness that I have gone upon my knees and prayed that it might be amended. Cuchulainn, for you thought that I should be as biddable as others had I their reason to fight for it. But that is not true, for I would need a weightier argument than one that marred me in the copying, as I have that clean hawk out of the air that, as men say, begot this body of mine upon a mortal woman. Now as ever you mock at every reasonable hope, and would have nothing, or impossible things. What eye has ever looked upon the child would satisfy a mind like that? I would leave my house and name to none that would not face even myself in battle. Being swift of foot and making light of every common chance, you should have overtaken the hills some daughter of the air, or on the shore a daughter of the country under wave. I am not blasphemous. Yet you despise our queens, and would not call a child your own if one of them had borne him. I have not said it. Ah, I remember I've heard you boast, when the ale was in your blood, that there was one in Scotland, where you learnt the trade of war, that had a stone-pale cheek and red-brown hair, and that although you had loved other women, you'd sooner that fierce woman of the camp bore you a son than any queen among them. You call her a fierce woman of the camp, for, Having lived among the spinning wheels, you'd have no woman near that would not say, "Ah, how wise! What will you have for supper? What shall I wear that may please you, sir, and keep that humming through the day and night forever?" Fierce woman of the camp! But I'm getting angry about nothing. You have never seen her. Ah, Connor, you have never seen her with that high, laughing, turbulent head of hers thrown backwards, and the bowstring at her ear, or sitting at the fire with those grave eyes full of good counsel as if it were with wine, or when love ran through all the lineaments of her wild body. Although she had no child, none other had all beauty, queen or lover, or was so fitted to give birth to kings. Conrad, there's nothing I can say but drift you farther from the one weighty matter. That very woman, for I know well that you are praising Aoife, now hates you, and will leave no subtlety unknotted that might run into a noose about your throat, no army in idleness that might bring ruin upon this land you serve. Cuchulainn, no wonder in that. No wonder at all in that. I have never known love but as a kiss in the mid-battle, and a difficult truce of oil and water, candle and dark night, hillside and pall, the hot-footed sun, and the cold, sliding, slippery-footed moon. A brief forgiveness between opposites that have been hatreds for 3 times the age of this long-established ground. Conhar, listen to me. Aoife makes war on us, and every day our enemies grow greater and beat the walls more bitterly, and you within the walls are every day more turbulent, and yet, when I would speak about these things, you fancy runs as it were a swallow on the wind. Outside the door in the blue light of the sea mist are many old and young kings. Amongst them are 3 women, 2 of whom carry a bowl of fire. The third, in what follows, puts from time to time fragrant herbs into the fire so that it flickers up into brighter flame. Look at the door and what men gather there. Old counsellors that steer the land with me, and younger kings, the dancers and harp players that follow in your tumults, and all these are held there by one anxiety. Will you be bound into obedience, and so make this land safe for them and theirs? You are but half a king, and I but half. I need your might of hand and burning heart, and you my wisdom. Cuchulainn, going near to door. Nestlings of a high nest, hawks that have followed me into the air and looked upon the sun, will out of this and sail upon the wind once more. This king would have me take an oath to do his will, and having listened to his tune from morning, I will no more of it. Run to the stable, and set the horses to the chariot pole, and send a messenger to the harp players. We'll find a level place among the woods and dance a while. A young king. Cuchulainn, take the oath. There is none that would not have you take it. Cuchulainn, you'd have me take it. Are you of one mind? The kings. All. A young king. Do what the high king bids you. Conhar, there is not one but dreads this turbulence now that they're settled men. Cuchulainn, are you so changed? Or have I grown more dangerous of late? But that's not it. I understand it all. It's you that have changed. You've wives and children now, and for that reason cannot follow one that lives like a bird's flight from tree to tree. It's time the years put water in my blood, and drown the wilderness of it, for all's changed. But that unchanged. I'll take what oath you will. The moon, the sun, the water, light or air, I do not care how binding. Conhar, on this fire that has been lighted from your hearth and mine, the older men shall be my witnesses, the younger yours. The holders of the fire shall purify the thresholds of the house with waving fire and shut the outer door according to the custom, and sing rhyme that has come down from the old lawmakers to blow the witches out. Considering that the wild will of man could be oath-bound, but that a woman's could not, they bid us sing against the will of a woman at its wildest, in the shape changes that run upon the wind. Connachar has gone onto his throne. The women, they sing in a very low voice after the first few words, so that the others all but drown their words. May this fire have driven out the shape changers that can put ruin on a great king's house, until all be ruinous. Names whereby a man has known the threshold and the hearthstone, gather on the wind and drive the women none can kiss and thrive. For they are but whirling wind out of memory and mind. They would make a prince decay with light images of clay planted in the running wave, or, for many shapes they have, they would change them into hounds, until they have died of his wounds, though the change were but a whim, or they'd hurl a spell at him, that he follow with desire bodies that can never tire or grow kind, for they anoint all their bodies joint by joint with a miracle-working juice that is made out of the grease of the ungoverned unicorn. But the man is thrice forlorn, empty, ruined, racked, and lost, that they follow. For at most they will give him kiss for kiss, while they murmur, after this, hatred may be sweet to the taste. Those wild hands that have embraced all his body can but shove all the burdening wheel of love till the side of hate comes up. Therefore, in this ancient cup may the sword blades drink their fill of the homebrew there, until they will have for masters none but the threshold and hearthstone. Cuchulainn, speaking while they are singing. I'll take and keep this oath. From this day I shall be what you please, my chicks, my nestlings. Yet I had thought you were of those that praised whatever life could make the pulse run quickly, even though it were brief, and that you held that a free gift was better than a forced. But that's all over. I will keep it too. I never gave a gift and took it again. If the wild horse should break the chariot pole, it would be punished. Should that be in the oath? Two of the women, still singing, crouch in front of him holding the bowl over their head. He spreads his hand over the flame. I swear to be obedient in all things, to Connachar, and to uphold his children. Connachar, we are one being, as these flames are one. I give my wisdom, and I take your strength. Now thrust the swords into the flame, and pray that they may serve the threshold and the hearthstone with faithful service. The kings kneel in a semicircle before the two women and Cuchulainn, who thrusts his sword into the flame. They all put the points of their swords into the flame. The third woman is at the back, near the big door. Cuchulainn. O pure, glittering ones, that should be more than wife or friend or mistress. Give us the enduring will, the unquenchable hope, the friendliness of the sword. The song grows louder, and the last words ring out clearly. There is a loud knocking at the door. Connachar. Some king that has been loitering on the way. Open the door, for I would have all know that the oath's finished and that Cuchulainn's bound, and that the swords are drinking up the flame. The door is opened by the third woman, and a young man with a drawn sword enters. Young man. I am of Aoife's country. The kings rush towards him. Cuchulainn throws himself between. Cuchulainn. Put up your swords. He is but one. Aoife is far away. Young man. I've come alone into the midst of you, to weigh this sword against Cuchulainn's sword. Connachar. And are you noble? For if of common seed ye cannot weigh your sword against his sword but in mixed battle. Young man. I'm under no bonds to tell my name to no man. But it's noble. Connachar. But I would know your name and not your bonds. You cannot speak in the assembly house if you are not noble. First Old King. Answer the High King. Young man. I will give no other proof than the hawk gives. That it's no sparrow. He is silent for a moment, then speaks to all. Ye look upon me, kings, I too of ancient seed, and carry the signs about this body and in these bones. Cuchulainn. To have shown the hawk's grey feather is enough, and you speak highly too. Give me that helmet. I thought they had grown weary sending champions. That sword and belt will do. This fight's welcome. The High King there has promised me his wisdom, but the hawk sleepy till its well-beloved cries out amid the acorns, or has seen its enemy like a speck upon the sun. What's wisdom to the hawk, when that clear eye is burning nearer up in the high air? He looks hard at the young man, then comes down steps and grasps young man by shoulder. Hither, into the light. To Connachar. The very tint of her that I was speaking of now. Not a pin's difference. To young man. You are from the north, where there are many that have that tint of hair. Red-brown. The light red-brown. Come nearer, boy, for I would have another look at you. There's more likeness. A stone-pale cheek. What brought you, boy? Have you no fear of death? Young man, whether I live or die is in the gods' hands. Cuchulainn, that is all words. All words, a young man's talk. I am their plough, their harrow, their very strength. For he that is in the sun begot this body upon a mortal woman, and I have heard it seemed as if he had outrun the moon, that he must follow always through waste heavens he loved so happily. He'll be but slow to break a tree that was so sweetly planted. Let's see that arm. I'll see it if I choose. That arm! That arm had a good father and a good mother. But it is not like this. Young man, you're mocking me. You think I'm not worthy to be fought? But I'll not wrangle but with this talkative knife. Cuchulainn, put up your sword. I'm not mocking you. I'd have you for my friend. But if it's not because you have a hot heart and a cold eye, I cannot tell the reason. To Connachar, he has got her fierceness, and nobody is as fierce as those pale women. But I will keep him with me, Connachar, that he may set my memory upon her when the day is fading. He will stop with us, and we will hunt the deer and the wild bulls, and when we have grown weary, light on our fires between the wood and water, or on some mountain where the shape changes of the morning come. The High King there would make a mock of me because I did not take a wife among them. Why do you hang your head so? It's a good life. The head grows prouder in the light of the dawn, and friendship thickens in the murmuring dark, where the spare hazels meet the wool-white foam. But I can see there's no more need for words, and that you'll be my friend from this day out. Connachar, he has come hither not to his own name, but in Queen Aoife's, and has challenged us in challenging the foremost man of us all. Cuchulainn, well, what's matter? Connachar, you think it does not matter, and that a fancy lighter than the air, whim of the moment has more matter in it. For having none that shall reign after you, you cannot think as I do, who would leave a throne too high for insult. Cuchulainn to young man, let your children remortar their inheritance as we have, and put more muscle on. I'll give you gifts, but I'd have something too. That arm ring, boy. We'll have this quarrel out when you are older. Young man, there's not a man I'd sooner have my friend than you, whose name is gone about the world, as if it had been the wind. But Aoife'd say I had turned coward. Cuchulainn, I will give you gifts that Aoife will know, and all her people know to have come from me. Showing cloak. My father gave me this. He came to try me, rising up at dawn out of the cold dark of the rich sea. He challenged me to battle, but before my sword had touched his sword, told me his name, gave me his cloak, and vanished. It was woven by women of the country under the wave, out of the fleeces of the sea. Oh, tell her I was afraid, or tell her what you will. No, tell her that I heard a raven croak on the north side of the house, and was afraid. Connachar, some woman of the air has troubled Cuchulainn's mind. Cuchulainn, no witchcraft. His head is like a woman's head I had a fancy for. Conhar. A witch of the air can make a leaf confound us with memories. They run upon the wind and hurl the spells that make us nothing, out of the invisible wind. They have gone to school to learn the trick of it. Cuchulainn. No. No, there's nothing out of common here. The winds are innocent. That arm ring, boy. A king. If I have your leave, I'll take this challenge up. Another king. No, give it to me, High King, for this wild Aoife has carried off my slaves.
No, give it to me.
No, give it to me, for she has harried me in house and
I
herd.
claim this fight.
And I.
Cuchulainn.
Back. Put up your swords. Put up your swords. There's none alive that shall accept a challenge I have refused. Lara, put up your sword.
Young man. If they have a mind for it, I'll try it out with any two together. Cuchulainn.
That's spoken as I had spoken at your age. But you are in my house. Whatever man would fight you shall fight it out with me. They're dumb. They're dumb. How many of you would meet, draw a sword, this mutterer, this old whistler, this sandpiper, this edge that's greyer than the tide, this mouse that's gnawing at the timbers of the wood, this boy. I would meet them all in arms if I had a son like you. He would avenge me when I have withstood for the last time the men whose fathers, brothers, sons, and friends I have killed upholding Conhar. When the 4 provinces have gathered with the ravens over them. But I need no avenger. You and I, we would scatter them like water from a dish.
Young man. We'll stand by one another from this out.
Here's the ring.
Cuchulainn.
No. Turn and turn about. But my turn's first, because I am older.
Spreading out cloak.
9 queens out of the country under wave have woven it with the fleeces of the sea, and they were long embroidering at it. Boy, if I had fought my father, he'd have killed me. As certainly as if I had a son and fought with him, I should be deadly to him. For the old fiery fountains are far off, and every day there is less heat of the blood.
Conhar, in a loud voice.
No more of this! I will not have this friendship. Cuchulainn is my man, and I forbid it. For I myself, Cuchulainn, I will not have it.
Conhar.
You lay commands on me?
Cuchulainn, seizing Conhar.
You shall not stir, High King. I'll hold you there.
Conhar.
Witchcraft has maddened you.
The kings, shouting.
Yes, witchcraft! Witchcraft!
The first old king.
Some witch has worked upon your mind, Cuchulainn.
The head of that young man seemed like a woman's you'd had a fancy for. Then of a sudden, you laid your hands on the High King himself.
And laid my hands on the High King himself?
Conhar. Some witch is floating in the air above us.
Cuchulainn. Yes, witchcraft. Witchcraft, witches of the air.
To young man.
What did you do? Who was it set you to this work? Out! Out, I say, for now it's sword on sword!
Young man. But I did not.
Cuchulainn. Out, I say! Out! Out!
Young man goes out, followed by Cuchulainn. The kings followed them out with confused cries, and words one can barely hear because of the noise. Some cry, Quicker, quicker! Why are you so long at the door? We'll be too late! Have they begun to fight? Can you see if they're fighting? And so on. Their voices drown each other. The 3 women are left alone. First woman. I have seen. Second woman. Why do you cry aloud? First woman. The ever-living has shown me what's to come. Third woman. How? Where? First woman. In the ashes of the bull. Second woman. While you were holding it between your hands. Third woman. Speak quickly. First woman. I have seen Cuchulainn's roof tree leap into fire, and the walls split and blacken. Second woman. Cuchulainn has gone out to die. Third woman. Oh! Second woman. Who could have thought that one so great as he could meet his end at this unnoted sword? First woman. Life drifts between a fool and a blind man to the end, and nobody can know his end. Second woman. Come, look upon the quenching of this greatness. The other 2 go to the door, but they stop for a moment upon the threshold and wail. First woman. No crying out, for there'll be no need of cries and rending of the hair when it's all finished. The women go out. There is a sound of clashing swords from time to time during what follows. Enter the fool, dragging the blind man. Fool. You've eaten it! You've left me nothing but the bones! He throws blind man down by big chair. Blind man.
Oh, that I should have to endure such plague. Oh, I ache all over. Oh, I'm pulled to pieces. This is the way you pay me for all the good I have done you? Fool. You have eaten it. You have told me lies. I might have known you had eaten it while I saw your slow, sleepy walk. Lie there till the kings come. Oh, I will tell Connachar and Cuchulainn and all the kings about you. Blind man. What would have happened to you but for me, and you without your wits? If I did not take care of you, what would you do for food and warmth? You! Take care of me. You stay safe and send me into every kind of danger. You sent me down the cliffs for gulls' eggs while you warmed your blind eyes in the sun, and then you ate all that were good for food. You left me the eggs that were neither eggs nor bird. Blind man tries to rise. Fool makes him lie down again. Keep quiet now till I shut the door. There's some noise outside, a high, vexing noise so that I can't be listening to myself. Shuts the big door. Why can't they be quiet? Why can't they be quiet? Blind man tries to get away. Ah, you would get away, would you? Follows blind man and brings him back. Lie there. Lie there. No, you won't get away. Lie there till the kings come. I'll tell them all about you. I will tell it all. How you sit warming yourself when you've made me light a fire of sticks while I sit blowing it with my mouth. Do you not always make me take the windy side of the bush when it blows and the rainy side when it rains? Blind man. Oh, good fool, listen to me. Think of the care I have taken of you. I have brought you to many a warm hearth where there was a good welcome for you, but you would not stay there. You were always wandering about. The last time you brought me in, it was not I who wandered away, but you that got put out because you took the crabine out of the pot when nobody was looking. Keep quiet now. Cuchulainn, rushing in. There is no witchcraft on the earth or among the witches of the air that these hands cannot break. Fool. Listen to me, Cuchulainn. I left him turning the fowl at the fire. He ate it all, though I had stolen it. He left me nothing but the feathers. Cuchulainn. Fill me a horn of ale. Blind man. I gave him what he likes best. You do not know how vain this fool is. He likes nothing so well as a feather. Cuchulainn. Give me that horn. Quarrel's here too. Drinks. What is there between you two that is worth a quarrel? Out with it. Blind man. Where would he be but for me? I must be always thinking to get food for the two of us, and when we've got it, if the moon is at the full or the tide on the turn, he'll leave the rabbit in the stair till it is full of maggots, or let the trout slip back through his hands into the stream. The fool has begun singing while the blind man is speaking. When you were an acorn on the treetop, there was I an eagle-cock. Now that you are a withered old buck, still I am an eagle-cock. Blind man. Listen to him now. That's the sort of talk I have to put up with day in and day out. Fool. He has taken my feathers to wipe his sword. It is blood that he is wiping from his sword. Cuchulainn goes up to door at back and throws away feathers. They are standing about his body. They will not awaken him for all his witchcraft. Blind man. It is that young champion he has killed. He that came from Aoife's country. Cuchulainn. He thought to have saved himself with witchcraft. Fool. That blind man there said he would kill you. He came from Aoife's country to kill you. That blind man said he taught him every kind of weapon that he might do it. But I always knew that you would kill him. Cuchulainn, to the blind man. You knew him, then? I saw him, when I had my eyes in Aoife's country. You were in Aoife's country? I knew him, and his mother there. He was about to speak of her when he died. He was a queen's son. What queen? What queen? Seizes blind man, who is now sitting on the bench. Was it Scach? There were many queens. All the rulers there were queens. Blind man. No, not Scach. It was Ulhach then. Speak! Speak! Blind man. I cannot speak. You are clutching me too tightly. Cuchulainn lets him go. I cannot remember who it was. I am not certain. It was some queen. Fool. He said a while ago that the young man was Aoife's son. Cuchulainn. She. No, she had no son when I was there. Fool. That blind man there said she owned him for a son. Cuchulainn. I'd rather he had been some other woman's son. What father had he? A soldier out of Alba? She was an amorous woman, a proud, pale, amorous woman. Blind man. None knew whose son he was. Cuchulainn. None knew. Did you know, old listener at doors? Blind man. No, I knew nothing. Fool. He said a while ago that he heard Aoife boast that she never had but one lover, and he the only man that had overcome her in battle. Pause. Blind man. Somebody is trembling, fool. The bench is shaking. Why are you trembling? Is Cuchulainn going to hurt us? It was not I who told you, Cuchulainn. Fool. It is Cuchulainn who is trembling. It is Cuchulainn who is shaking the bench. Blind man. It is his own son he has slain. Cuchulainn.
'Twas they that did it. The pale wind people. Where my sword against the thunder? But no, for they have always been my friends. And though they love to blow a smoking coal till it's all flame, the wars they blow aflame are full of glory and heart-uplifting pride. And not like this. The wars they love awaken old fingers and the sleepy strings of harps. Who did it then? Are you afraid? Speak out! For I have put you under my protection and will reward you well. Duvach the Chafer. He is an old grudge. No, for he is with Maeve. Lara did it. Why do you not speak? What is this house? Now I remember all. Comes before Connachar's chair and strikes out with his sword, as if Connachar was sitting upon it. 'Twas you who did it. You who sat up there with your old rod of kingship, like a magpie nursing a stolen spoon. No, not a magpie, a maggot that is eating upon the earth. Yes, but a magpie, for he's flown away. Where did he fly to? Blind man. He is outside the door. Outside the door? Between the door and the sea. Cuchulainn. Connachar. Connachar, the sword into your heart! He rushes out. Pause. Fool creeps up to the big door and looks after him. He's going up to King Connachar. They are all about the young man. No, he's standing still. There's a great wave going to break. And he's looking at it. Now he's running down to the sea. But he's holding up his sword as if he were going into a fight. Well struck! Well struck! Blind man. What is he doing now? Oh, he's fighting the waves. Blind man. He sees King Connachar's crown on every one of them. Fool. There! He struck at that big one. He struck the crown off it. He had made the foam fly. There! Another big one! Blind man. Where are the kings? What are the kings doing? Fool. They are shouting and running down to the shore. And the people are running out of the houses. They are all running. Blind man. You say they are running out of the houses. There'll be nobody left in the houses. Listen, fool! Fool. There! He's down! He's up again. He's going out into the deep water. There! He's down! He's up again. He's going out in the deep water. There's a big wave. It has gone over him. I cannot see him now. He has killed kings and giants, but the waves have mastered him. The waves have mastered him. Blind man. Come here, fool. The waves have mastered him. Come here. The waves have mastered him. Come here, I say. Fool, coming towards him, but looking backwards towards the door. What is it? The blind man. There'll be nobody in the houses. Come this way. Come quick. The ovens will be full. We will put our hands in the ovens. They go out. The end. And that is the end of On Baile's Strand. Next up, we will have the Only Jealousy of Emer, and then after that, we will have the final conclusion of the Myth of Cuchulainn with the Death of Cuchulainn. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I hope to have you back in Brendan Moyer's Playwright Corner. Thank you. Hello, and welcome back to Brendan Moyer's Playwright Corner, where I read plays, poems, or whatever's currently striking my fancy at the moment. Today we're going to be finishing up the Myth of Cuchulainn with W.B. Yeats's The Only Jealousy of Emer and The Death of Cuchulainn. These were recorded in two separate stints, so we might end up just combining the two of them to create a complete episode, but hopefully you're used to that by now. So, without any further ado, let's start with The Only Jealousy of Emer. The persons in the play are the three musicians, their faces made up to resemble masks, the ghost of Cuchulainn wearing a mask, the figure of Cuchulainn wearing a mask, Emer and Enya Ingeba, both masked, or their faces made up to resemble masks, and a woman of the She wearing a mask. Enter musicians, who are dressed and made up as at the Hawk's Well. They have the same musical instruments, which can either be already upon the stage or be brought in by the first musician before he stands in the center with the cloth between his hands, or by a player when the cloth has been unfolded. The stage, as before, can be against the wall of any room, and the same black cloth can be used as in at the Hawk's Well. Song for the folding and unfolding of the cloth. First musician. A woman's beauty is like a white, frail bird, like a white sea-bird alone. At daybreak, after stormy night, between two furrows upon the ploughed land, a sudden storm, and it was thrown, between dark furrows upon the ploughed land. How many centuries spent, the sedentary soil in toils of measurement beyond eagle or mole, beyond hearing or seeing or Archimedes' guess, to raise into being that loveliness. A strange, unserviceable thing, a frail, exquisite, pale shell, that the vast troubled waters bring to the loud sands before day has broken. A storm arose and suddenly fell amid the dark before day had broken. What death, what discipline, what bonds no man could unbind, being imagined within the labyrinth of the mind. What pursuing or fleeing, what wounds, what bloody press dragged into being this loveliness. When the cloth is folded again, the musicians take their place against the wall. The folding of the cloth shows on one side of the stage the curtained bed or litter on which lies a man in his grave clothes. He wears a heroic mask. Another man with exactly similar clothes and mask crouches near the front. Emer is sitting beside the bed. First musician speaking. I call before the eyes a roof, with crossbeams darkened by smoke. A fisher's net hangs from a beam, a long oar lies against the wall. I call up a poor fisher's house. A man lies dead or swooning. That amorous man. That amorous, violent man, renowned Cuchulainn, Queen Emer at his side. At her own bidding, all the rest have gone. But now no one comes on hesitating feet. Young Enya Inguba, Cuchulainn's mistress. She stands a moment in the open door. Beyond the open door, the bitter sea, the shining, bitter sea is crying out. Singing. White shell, white wing. I will not choose for my friend a frail, unserviceable thing that drifts and dreams, and but knows that waters are without end, and that wind blows. Emer speaking. Come hither. Come sit down beside the bed. You need not be afraid, for I myself sent for you. Enya Inguba. Enya. No, madam. I have too deeply wronged you to sit there. Emer. Of all the people in the world, we two, and we alone may watch together here, because we have loved him best. Enya. And is he dead? Although they have dressed him out in his grave clothes, and stretched his limbs, Cuchulainn is not dead. The very heavens, when that day is at hand, so that his death may not lack ceremony, will throw out fires, and the earth grow red with blood. I shall not be a scullion, but Fur knows it like the world's end. Enya. How did it come to this? Emer. Towards noon, in the assembly of the kings, he met with one who seemed a while most dear. The king stood around. Some quarrel was blown up. He drove him out and killed him on the shore, at Baile's tree. And he who was so killed was his own son begot on some wild woman when he was young. Or so I've heard it said. And thereupon, knowing what man he had killed, and being mad with sorrow, he ran out,
and after to his middle in the foam, with shield before him, and with sword in hand, he fought the deathless sea. The kings looked on, and not a king stretched an arm or even dared call his name, but all stood wondering in that dumb stupor like the cattle in a gale, until at last, as though he had fixed his eyes on a new enemy, he waited out until the water had swept over him. But the waves washed his senseless image up and laid it at this door. Enya. How pale he looks. Emer. He is not dead. Enya. You have not kissed his lips, nor laid his head upon your breast. Emer. It may be an image has been put into his place. A sea-born log bewitched into his likeness, or some stark horseman grown too old to ride among the troops of Manannan, son of the sea, now that his joints are stiff. Enya. Cry out his name. All that are taken from our sight, they say, loiter amid the scenery of their lives for certain hours or days. And should he hear, he might, being angry, drive the changeling out. Emer. It is hard to make them hear amid their darkness. And it is long since I could call him home. I am but his wife. But if you cry aloud, with the sweet voice that is so dear to him, he cannot help but listen. Enya. He loves me best, being his newest love, but in the end will love the woman who best loved him first, and loved him through the years when love seemed lost. Emer. I have that hope. The hope that someday, somewhere, we'll sit together at the hearth again. Enya. Women like me, the violent hour passed over, are flung into some corner like old nutshells. Cuchulainn, listen. Emer. No. Not yet. For first I'll cover up his face to hide the sea, and throw new logs upon the hearth and stir the half-burnt logs until they break in flame. Old Manannan's unbridled horses come out of the sea, and on their backs his horsemen. But all the enchantments of the dreaming foam dread the hearth fire. She pulls the curtains of the bed so as to hide the sick man's face, that the actor may change his mask unseen. She goes to one side of the platform and moves her hand as though putting logs on a fire and stirring it into a blaze. While she makes these movements, the musicians play, marking the movements with drum and flute, perhaps. Having finished, she stands beside the imaginary fire at a distance from Cuchulainn and Enya Inguba. Call on Cuchulainn now. Enya. Can you not hear my voice? Emer. Bend over him. Call out dear secrets till you have touched his heart if he lies there. If he is not there, till you have made him jealous. Enya. Cuchulainn. Listen. Emer. Those words sound timidly. To be afraid because his wife is but 3 paces off, when there is so great a need, what but to prove the man who chose you made but a poor choice? What about 2 women struggling with the sea? Enya. Oh, my beloved, pardon me that I have been ashamed. I thrust my shame away. I have never sent a message or called out, scarce had a longing for your company, but you have known and come. And if indeed you are lying there, stretch out your arms and speak. Open your mouth and speak, for to this hour my company has made you talkative. What ails your tongue? Or what has closed your ears? Our passion had not chilled when we were parted on the pale shore under the breaking dawn. He cannot speak, or else his ears are closed and no sound reaches him. Emer. Then kiss that image. The pressure of your mouth upon his mouth may reach him where he is. Enya, starting back. It is no man. I felt some evil thing that dried my heart when my lips touched it. Emer. No. His body stirs.
The pressure of your mouth has called him home. He's thrown the changeling out. Enya, going further off. Look at that arm. That arm is withered to the very socket. Emer, going up to the bed. What do you come for? And from where? Figure of Cuchulainn.
I have come from Manannan's court upon a brideless horse.
Emer. What one among the she has dared to lie upon Cuchulainn's bed and take his image?
I am named Burikriu. That Burikriu, maker of discord among gods and men, called Burikriu of the she.
Emer. Come for what purpose? Figure of Cuchulainn, sitting up, parting curtain, and showing its distorted face, as Enya Inyuba goes out.
I show my face, and everything he loves must fly away.
Emer. You people of the wind are full of lying speech and mockery. I have not fled your face.
You are not loved,
and therefore have no dread to meet your eyes and to demand him of you.
For that I have come. You have but to pay the price, and he is free.
Do the she bargain?
When they would free a captive, they take in ransom a less valued thing. The fisher, when some knowledgeable man restores to him his wife or son or daughter, knows he must lose a boat or a net. Or it may be the cow that gives his children milk. And some have offered their own lives. I do not ask your life or any valuable thing. You spoke but now of the mere chance that some day you'd be the apple of his eye again, when old and ailing. But renounce that chance, and he shall live again.
Emer. I do not question. But you have brought ill luck on all he loves. And now, because I am thrown beyond your power, unless your words are lies, you come to bargain.
You loved your mastery when but newly married, and I love mine for all my withered arm. You have but to put yourself into that power, and he shall live again.
No. Never. Never.
You dare not be accursed. Yet he has dared.
I have but two joyous thoughts. Two things I prize. A hope. A memory. And now you claim that hope?
He'll never sit beside you at the hearth, or make old bones but die of wounds and toil on some far shore or mountain, a strange woman beside his mattress.
You ask for my one hope, that you may bring your curse on all about him.
You've watched his loves, and you have not been jealous, knowing that he would tire. But do those tire that love the she? Come closer to the bed, that I may touch your eyes and give them sight.
He touches her eyes with his left hand, the right being withered. Emer, seeing the crouching ghost of Cuchulainn. My husband is there.
I have dissolved the dark that hid him from your eyes, but not that other that's hidden you from his.
Oh, husband, husband.
He cannot hear, being shut off a phantom that can neither touch nor hear nor see. The longing and the cries have drawn him hither. He heard no sound, heard no articulate sound. They could but banish rest, and make him dream. And in that dream, as do all dreaming shades before they are accustomed to their freedom, he has taken his familiar form. And yet, he crouches there, not knowing where he is, or at whose side he is crouched.
A woman of the she has entered and stands a little inside the door. Emer. Who is this woman?
She is hurried from the country under wave, and dreamed herself into that shape that he may glitter in her basket. For the she are dexterous fishers, and they fish for men with dreams upon the hook.
And so that woman has hid herself in this disguise and made herself into a lie.
A dream is a body. The dead move ever towards a dreamless youth, and when they dream no more, return no more. And those more holy shades that never lived but visit you in dreams.
I know her sort. They find our men asleep, weary with war, lap them in cloudy hair, and kiss their lips. Our men awake in ignorance of it all. But when we take them in our arms at night, we cannot break their solitude. She draws a knife from her girdle.
No knife could wound that body of air. Be silent. Listen. I have not given you eyes and ears for nothing.
The woman of the she moves round the crouching ghost of Cuchulainn at front of stage in a dance that grows gradually quicker as he slowly awakes. At moments she may drop her hair upon his head, but she does not kiss him. She is accompanied by string and flute and drum. Her mask and clothes must suggest gold or bronze or brass or silver, so that she seems more an idol than a human being. This suggestion may be repeated in her movements. Her hair, too, must keep the metallic suggestion. Ghost of Cuchulainn.
Who is it stands before me there, shedding such light from limb and hair, as when the moon, complete at last, with every labouring crescent past, and lonely with extreme delight, flings out upon the 15th night?
Woman of the she. Because I long I am not complete. What pulled your hands about your feet, pulled down your head upon your knees, and hid your face?
Old memories. A woman in her happy youth, before her man had broken truth, dead men and women, memories, have pulled my head upon my knees.
Could you that loved many a woman, that did not reach beyond the human, lacking a day to be complete, love one that, though her heart can beat, lacks it but by an hour or so?
I know you now. For long ago I met you on a cloudy hill and beside old thorn trees and a well. A woman danced, and a hawk flew. I held out arms and hands, but you, that now seem friendly, fled away. Half woman, and half bird of prey.
Hold out your arms and hands again. You were not so dumbfounded when I was that bird of prey, and yet I am all woman now.
I am not the young and passionate man I was. And though that brilliant light surpass all crescent forms my memories, weigh down my hands, abash my eyes.
Then kiss my mouth. Though memory be beauty's bitterest enemy, I have no dread. For at my kiss, memory on the moment vanishes. Nothing but beauty can remain.
And shall I ever know again intricacies of blind remorse?
Time shall seem to stay his course. When your mouth and my mouth meet, all my rounds shall be complete, imagining all its circles run, and there shall be oblivion. Even to quench Cuchulainn's drouth, even to still that heart, your mouth. They are about to kiss. He turns away. Oh, Emer. Emer! So then it is she made you impure with memory. Oh, Emer. Emer, there we stand, side by side and in hand, tread the threshold of the house, and when our parents married us, being among the dead you love her, that valued every slut above her while you lived. Oh, my lost Emer! And there is not a single loose-tongued schemer but could draw you, if not dead, from her table and her bed. But what could make you fit to live, with flesh and blood being born to live, where no one speaks of broken troth? For all have washed out of their eyes wind-blown dirt of their memories to improve their sight. Your mouth. Your mouth. She goes out, followed by Ghost of Cuchulainn. Figure of Cuchulainn.
Cry out that you renounce his love. Make haste, and cry out that you renounce his love forever.
Emer, no. Never will I give that cry.
Fool! I am Fan's enemy come to thwart her will, and you stand gaping there. There is still time. Hear how the horses trample on the shore. Hear how they trample. She is mounted up. Cuchulainn is not beside her in the chariot. There is still a moment left. Cry out! Cry out! Renounce him, and her power is at an end. Cuchulainn's foot is on the chariot step. Cry!
Emer, I renounce Cuchulainn's love forever. The figure of Cuchulainn sinks back upon the bed, half drawing the curtain. Enya Inguba comes in and kneels by bed. Enya Inguba, come to me, my beloved. It is I, Enya Inguba. Look, he is there. He has come back and moved upon the bed. And it is I that have won him from the sea that brought him back to life. Emer, Cuchulainn wakes. The figure turns round. It once more wears the heroic mask. Cuchulainn, your arms, oh Enya Inguba, I have been in some strange place and am afraid. The first musician comes to the front of the stage, the others from each side, and unfold the cloth singing. Although the door be shut, and all seem well enough, although wide world hold not a man but will give you his love, the moment he has looked at you, he that has loved the best may turn from a statue his too human breast. O bitter reward of many a tragic tomb! And we, though astonished, are dumb, or give but a sigh and a word, a passing word. What makes your heart so beat? What man is at your side? When beauty is complete, your own thought will have died. And danger not be diminished, dimmed at 3/4 light, when moon's round is finished. The stars are out of sight. O bitter reward of many a tragic tomb! And we, though astonished, are dumb, or give but a sigh and a word, a passing word. When the cloth is folded again, the stage is bare. The end. And now for The Death of Cuchulainn, written in 1939. The persons of the play are Cuchulainn, Enya Inguba, Aoife, Emer, the Morrigu, goddess of war, an old man, a blind man, a servant, a singer, a piper, and a drummer. Scene: a bare stage of any period. A very old man looking like something out of mythology. Old man: I have been asked to produce a play called The Death of Cuchulainn. It is the last of a series of plays which has for theme his life and death. I have been selected because I am out of fashion and out of date like the antiquated romantic stuff the thing is made of. I am so old that I have forgotten the name of my father and mother. Unless, indeed, I am, as I affirm, the son of Ptolemy. And he was so old that his friends and acquaintances still read Virgil and Homer. When they told me that I could have my own way, I wrote certain guiding principles on a bit of newspaper. I wanted an audience of 50 or 100. If there are more, I beg them not to shuffle their feet or talk when the actors are speaking. I am sure that as I am producing a play for people I like, it is not probable in this vile age that they will be more in number than those who listened to the first performance of Milton's Como. On the present occasion, they must know the old epics in Mr. Yeats's plays about them. Such people, however, have libraries of their own. If there are more than 100, I won't be able to escape people who are educating themselves out of the book of societies and the like. See all pickpockets and opinionated bitches. Why pickpockets? I will explain that. I will make it all quite clear. Drum and pipe behind the scene. Then silence. As from the musicians. I asked them to do that if I was getting excited. If you were as old, you would find it easy to get excited. Before the night ends, you will meet the music. There is a singer, a piper, and a drummer. I've picked them up here and there about the streets, and I will teach them, if I live, the music of the beggar man. Homer's music. I promise a dance. I wanted to dance because where there are no words, there is less to spoil. Emer must dance. There must be severed heads. I'm old. I belong to mythology. Severed heads for her to dance before. I had thought to have had those heads carved, but no. If the dancer can dance properly, no wood carving can look as well as a parallelogram of painted wood. But I was at my wits' end to find a good dancer. I could have got such a dancer once. But she is gone. The tragicomedian dancer, the tragic dancer, upon the neck love of loathing life and death. I spit 3 times. I spit upon the dancers painted by Degas. I spit upon their short bodices, their stiff stays, their toes whereupon they spin like peg tops, above all upon that chambermaid face. They might have looked timeless. Ramses the Great. But not the chambermaid. That's old maid history. I spit. I spit. I spit. The stage is darkened. The curtain falls. Pipe and drum begin and continue until the curtain rises on a bare stage. Half a minute later, Enya Ingiba enters. Enya. Cuchulainn! Cuchulainn! Cuchulainn enters from back. I'm Emer's messenger. I am your wife's messenger. She has bid me say you must not linger here in Sloth. For Maeve, with all those Connaught ruffians at her back, burns barns and houses up in Ive Macha. Your house at Mortem already burns. No matter what's the odds, no matter though your death may come of it, ride out and fight. The scene is set, and you must out and fight. Cuchulainn. You have told me nothing. I am already armed. I have sent a messenger to gather men and wait for his return. What have you there? Enya. I have nothing. Cuchulainn. There is something in your hand. Enya. No. Have you a letter in your hand? I do not know how it got into my hand. I am straight from Emer. We were in some place. She spoke. She saw. This letter is from Emer. It tells a different story. I am not to move until tomorrow morning, for if now, I must face odds no man can face and live. Tomorrow morning, Conall Carnach comes with a great host. Enya. I do not understand. Who could have put that letter in my hand? And there is something more to make it certain I shall not stir till morning. You are sent to be my bedfellow. But have no fear, all that is written. I am for the fight. I and my handful are set upon the fight. We have faced great odds before, as straw decided. The Morrigu enters and stands between them. Enya. I know that somebody or something is there. Yet nobody that I can see. There is nobody. Who among the gods of the air and the upper air has a bird's head? Morrigu is headed like a crow. Morrigu. War goddess stands between. Her black wing touched me upon the shoulder, and all is intelligible. The Morrigu goes out. Maeve put me in a trance. Oh, when Cuchulainn slept with her as a boy, she seemed as pretty as a bird. She has changed. She has an eye in the middle of her forehead. A woman that has an eye in the middle of her forehead. A woman that is headed like a crow. But she that put those words into your mouth had nothing monstrous. You put them there yourself. You need a younger man, a friendlier man, but fearing what my violence might do, thought out these words to send me to my death. And when in such excitement you forgot the letter in your hand. Enya. Now that I wake, I say that Maeve did nothing out of reason. What mouth could you believe if not my mouth? When I went mad at my son's death and drew my sword against the sea, it was my wife that brought me back. Enya, better women than I have served you well. But 'twas to me you turned. You thought that if you changed, I'd kill you for it. When everything sublunary must change. And if I have not changed, that goes to prove that I am monstrous. You're not the man I loved. That violent man forgave no treachery. If, thinking what you think you can forgive, it is because you are about to die.
Spoken too loudly and too near the door.
Speak low if you would speak about my death, or not in that strange voice exulting in it. Who knows what ears listen behind the door? Enya, some that would not forgive a traitor. Some that have a passion necessary for life. Some not about to die. When you are gone, I should denounce myself to all your cooks, scullions, armourers, bedmakers, and messengers, until they hammer me with a ladle, cut me with a knife, impale me upon a spit, put me to death, by what foul way they best please their fancy, so that my shade can stand among the shades, and greet your shade and prove it is no traitor. Cuchulainn.
Women have spoken so, plotting a man's death.
Enter a servant. Servant. Your great horse is bitted. I'll wait the word. Cuchulainn.
I come to give it, but must ask a question.
This woman, wild with grief, declares that she, out of pure treachery, has told me lies that should have brought my death. What can I do? How can I save her from her own wild words? Servant. Is her confession true?
I make the truth. I say she brings a message from my wife.
Servant. What if I make her swallow poppy juice?
What herb seems suitable, but protect her life as it were your own. And should I not return, give her to Conall Carnach, because the women have called him a good lover.
Enya, I might have peace that know the Morrigu. The woman like a crow stands to my defence and cannot lie. But that Cuchulainn is about to die. Pipe and drum. The stage grows dark for a moment. When it lights up again, it is empty. Cuchulainn enters wounded. He tries to fasten himself to a pillar stone with his belt. Aoife, an erect white-haired woman, enters. Aoife. Am I recognized? Cuchulainn. Cuchulainn.
You fought with a sword. It seemed that we should kill each other. And your body wearied in. I took your sword.
Aoife. But look again, Cuchulainn. Look again. Cuchulainn.
Your hair is white.
Aoife. That time was long ago. And now it is my time. I have come to kill you. Cuchulainn.
Where am I? Why am I here?
Aoife. You asked our leave. Uncertain that you had 6 mortal wounds to drink out of the pool. Cuchulainn.
I put my belt about this stone and want to fasten it and die upon my feet. But I am too weak. Fasten this belt.
She helps him to do so.
Now I know your name. Aoife. The mother of my son. We met at the Hawkswell under the withered trees. I killed him upon Baile Strand. That is why Maeve parted ranks, that she might let you through. You have a right to kill me.
Aoife. Though I have, her army did not part to let me through. The Grey of Macha, that great horse of yours killed in the battle, came out of the pool as though it were alive, and went 3 times in a great circle round you and that stone, then leapt into the pool. And not a man of all that terrified army dared approach. But I approach. Cuchulainn.
Because you have the right.
Aoife. But I am an old woman now. And that your strength may not start up when the time comes, I wind my veil about this ancient stone, and fasten you to it. Cuchulainn.
But do not spoil your veil. Your veils are beautiful, some with threads of gold.
Aoife. I'm too old to care for such things now. Cuchulainn.
There is no reason to spoil your veil. I am weak from loss of blood.
Aoife. I was afraid. But now that I have wound you in the veil, I am not afraid. But how did my son fight?
Cuchulainn. Age makes more skillful, but not better men.
Aoife. I have been told you did not know his name, and wanted because he had a look of me, to be his friend. But Conor forbade it.
Cuchulainn. Forbade it, and commanded me to fight. That very day I had sworn to do his will, yet refused him, and spoke about a look. But somebody spoke of witchcraft, and I said witchcraft had made the look, and fought, and killed him. Then I went mad. I fought against the sea.
Aoife. I seemed invulnerable. You took my sword and threw me on the ground and left me there. I searched the mountains for your sleeping place and laid my virgin body at your side. And yet, because you had left me, hated you, and thought that I would kill you in your sleep. And yet, begot a son that night between two black thorn trees.
Cuchulainn. I cannot understand. Because about to die.
Somebody comes. Some countryman. And when he finds you here and none to protect him will be terrified. I will keep out of his sight. For I have things that I must ask questions on before I kill you. She goes. The blind man of On Baile's Strand comes in. He moves his stick about until he finds a standing stone. He lays his stick down, stoops, and touches Cuchulainn's feet. He feels the legs. Blind man. Ah!
Cuchulainn. I think you are a blind old man.
Blind man. A blind old beggar man. What is your name?
Cuchulainn.
They say that you are weak with wounds. I stood between the fool at the sea and Baile's Strand when you went mad. What's bound about your hands so that I cannot move? Some womanish stuff. I had been fumbling with my stick since dawn, and then heard many voices. I began to beg. Somebody said that I was in Maeve's tent, and somebody else, a big man by his voice, that if I brought Cuchulainn's head in a bag, I would be given 12 pennies. I had the bag to carry what I get at kitchen doors. Somebody told me how to find the place. I thought it would have taken till the night, but this has been my lucky day.
12 pennies.
I would not promise anything until the woman, the great Queen Maeve herself, repeated the words.
12 pennies. What better reason for killing a man? You have a knife. But have you sharpened it?
Blind man. I keep it sharp because it cuts my food. He lays bag on ground and begins feeling Cuchulainn's body, his hands mounting upwards.
Cuchulainn. I think that you know everything, blind man. My mother or my nurse said that the blind know everything.
No, but they have good sense. How could I have got 12 pennies for your head if I had not good sense?
Cuchulainn. There floats out there the shape that I shall take when I am dead. My soul's first shape. A soft, feathery shape. And is not that a strange shape for the soul of a great fighting man?
Blind man. Your shoulder is there. This is your neck. Are you ready, Cuchulainn?
I say, it is about to sing.
The stage darkens. Blind man. Music of pipe and drum. The curtain falls. The music ceases as the curtain rises upon a bare stage. There is nobody upon the stage except a woman with a crow's head. She is the Morrigu. She stands towards the back. She holds a black parallelogram the size of a man's head. There are 6 other parallelograms near the black cloth. The Morrigu. The dead can hear me. and to the dead I speak. This head is great Cuchulainn's. Those other 6 gave him 6 mortal wounds. This man came first. Youth lingered through the years ran on, that season a woman loves the best. Maeve's latest lover, this man, had given him the 2nd wound. He had possessed her once. These were her sons, 2 valiant men that gave the 3rd and 4th. These other men were men of no account. They saw that he was weakening and crept in. One gave him the 6th wound, and one the 5th. Conall avenged him. I arranged the dance. Emer enters. The Morrigu places the head of Cuchulainn upon the ground and goes out. Emer runs in and begins to dance. She so moves that she seems to rage against the heads of those that had wounded Cuchulainn, perhaps makes movements as though to strike them, going 3 times round the circle of the heads. She then moves towards the head of Cuchulainn. It may, if need be raised above the others on a pedestal. She moves as if in adoration or triumph. She is about to prostrate herself before it, perhaps does so, then rises, looking up, as if listening. She seems to hesitate between the head and what she hears. Then she stands motionless. There is silence. And in the silence, a few faint bird notes. The stage darkens slowly. Then comes a loud music, but now it is quite different. It is the music of some Irish fair of our day. The stage brightens. Emer and the head are gone. There is no one there but the 3 musicians. They are in ragged street singers' clothes. 2 of them begin to pipe and drum. They cease. The street singer begins to sing. The harlot sang to the beggar man. I meet them face to face. Conall Cuchulainn Wisna's boys, all that most ancient race. Maeve had 3 in an hour, they say. I adore those clever eyes. Those muscular bodies but can get no grip upon their thighs. I meet those long pale faces. Hear their great horses then. Recall what centuries have passed since they were living men. That there are still some living that do my limbs unclothe, but that the flesh my flesh is gripped, I both adore and loathe. Pipe and drum music. Are those things that men adore and loathe their sole reality? What stood in the post office with Pierce and Connolly? What comes out of the mountain where men first shed their blood? Who thought Cuchulainn till it seemed he stood where they had stood? No body like his body has modern woman born, but an old man looking back on life imagines it in scorn. A statue's there to mark the place by Oliver Shepherd done. So ends the tale that the harlot sang to the beggar man. Music from pipe and drum. The end. And that is the end of the Death of Cuchulainn and W.B. Yeats's take on the Irish myth. I hope you enjoyed it. It feels more like a 5-act play than a 5 separate plays, and I think if anyone were to perform it as such, it would make total and complete sense. Anyways, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I hope to have you back in Brendan Moyer's Playwright Corner. Thank you.